Hey everyone, welcome back to the DroneOn podcast. It's Mike Yoder. I'm excited to bring today's podcast where me and Jason sit down with Preston from North Carolina as he shares some of his experiences starting up a drone spray company in the mountains of North Carolina. We're going to get into it where we're discussing some of the ruggedness that he has to spray and how drones have really helped cattle farmers in North Carolina being able to apply in areas that otherwise would not be able to be done without drones. And then we're also going to talk about Christmas tree farms. What is the number one application that will be done on Christmas tree farms using drones? It's very interesting. A lot of this stuff I had no idea that would be done in the mountains of North Carolina. So we're on the road, me and Jason. We're going to sit down with Preston talking about using drones to spray and also seed in the mountains. Let's get into it. Bring our special guest. I'll let him introduce himself. But you spray some rugged stuff. So if you want to tell us your name, and then we'll get right into it.
So my name is Preston Cave. I'm the owner of Pac Aerial Applications. We're in the northwestern part of North Carolina.
In the mountains.
And, well, I'm actually in the Piedmont.
Okay.
Which is not like – there's still some rolling hills, kind of like what you guys deal with there in Ohio. I travel an hour, 2, 3 hours west, and then it gets rain.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Is a lot of your stuff in the mountains?
I would say 80% of my stuff is in the mountains.
I wish you guys could see this. He was showing us some footage on his phone. Obviously, you guys are listening to us, so you can't see it, but he is spraying some really gnarly stuff using your T50s or T40s?
T25.
T25s,
Yep.
okay.
Yep.
So why the smaller drone?
Well, so I bought the T40 first, and then the last fall in September, I got started doing some of this rough stuff and knew immediately, like, this 40 cannot follow this terrain efficiently.
Yep.
So,
yeah, the terrain falling on that 40 wasn't that
awful,
great.
Awful.
Yeah.
So I was only able to get like 3 or 4 gallons in this 40 before I'd run out of battery. So I was like, well, for one, I don't have the money to buy a 50 at the moment.
Okay.
So let's just do the 25, and I ended up apparently finding the only one left in the fall. So
wow.
I got the 25, and
honestly, it probably worked out better for you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Tank.
I mean, the 50 could have worked. Like obviously, it could have worked.
Probably wouldn't have filled it up every
yeah,
time.
but a lot of times I'm flying by myself, so it's super nice to be throwing that thing around. And we're actually building like a Japanese mini truck rig to be able to throw this thing in the back of, because a lot of the things that I do, I mean, it's just so rough. Like I can't even fly the whole field from home because of the max altitude in your remote.
Yeah.
So I'll have to find like a level spot. Like
so for the listeners, there's a max altitude on your controller that the drone literally won't let you go above where you're taking off. So you take off at the bottom of a valley and you climb to. What do you do if that happens?
So one mountain, there was not even a flat place for me to land. So we ended up having to strap my 40 on the back of a four-wheeler and took a 12-minute ride up to the top of the mountain through I literally had to do a 3-point turn to get through these snake backs.
On a four-wheeler?
On a four-wheeler.
I got an idea for you. Use a fly cart.
We could fly the 40 up top. No, we could do it. But I ended up having to train these 2 old men how to, because my truck was at the bottom of the mountain. So they had a four-wheeler and an RTV that they trucked chemicals and batteries back and forth with 2.5-gallon jugs.
Wow.
Yeah, it was nasty. And I told these guys I'd do
How long
this.
did that job take?
I done 8 acres, and it took me 4 hours.
Wow.
In 8 acres. But
wow.
now this was this was the total time. I went back with a T25 and finished the rest of the 20-acre pasture in less than 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because we was set up and ready to roll then.
So I'll tell you. So I reached out to the engineers at DJI. I was like, guys, you have to understand that these drones are not just being used for flat land. And I gave that example. I was like, if I'm at the bottom of a valley and I have to go spray up a mountainside, you're going to stop me halfway up the mountain.
Yep.
They're like, oh. And then they went back to their engineering team and came back and said that just due to all the regulations and stuff, they're not going to open that up.
Well, even if they let us go to $399, that would give us the extra feet that we needed to possibly get up there. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I understand 400 feet.
Yeah.
Like that's the law. But
Yeah.
I mean,
It's 400 feet AGL.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but what's the
So
I'm literally
AGL, you could be on a 7,000-foot mountain as long as you're 7,300 and
You might be 7,300 feet above from where you took off, but you're only 300 feet above the
correct.
mountain.
Yeah.
So how did you get into that type of terrain? Like, did you go look for that type of work?
So I've got a cattle background, so I'm very familiar with cattle and pasture management. And I actually, one guy I'm very familiar with our extension program, and a guy that's in the mountain research station called me to do a drone demo in the mountains. And from there, it just took off. There was a bunch of old farmers there. There's no other way to spray these mountains because they're having to backpack it, or they're literally spreading fertilizer by hand.
Oh my gosh!
So
gosh.
I mean, it's like miserable stuff.
So why do they have to spray the mountains? What's going on?
So there's a invasive species that I mainly take care of is multifloral rose.
Oh yeah,
And
we
it's-
have that.
Yep.
Bad.
Doggone it! When you walk through it, when you're
So,
hunting, I have them in my legs for like a week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's just taking care of weeds on these pastures. So.
Okay.
Yep.
So
do
the
you do
mountainside
fertilizer
would
too?
normally be where the cattle graze.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's also grass on these mountainsides.
Yep. So we're just spraying a herbicide just to kill the weeds.
Okay.
Yep.
Do you spread fertilizer too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We haven't got into that. We're going to get it in the spring.
Gotcha.
So these guys are wanting me to spread 400, 500, 600 pounds of fertilizer to the acre,
Oh,
and
my goodness.
there's guys wanting me to spread like a ton of lime to the acre. Pelleted
How
lime.
is that
Pelleted lime.
even feasible?
I don't know. We're fixing to find out.
Yeah, but I think it can be done because if you put it in AI, and if people aren't using AI, do you use AI? Do you have an Android or an Apple?
Apple.
Okay, Apple. You can get what's called Grok 3 on there.
Yeah.
It's insane. I'm going to make a video and let people know that if you aren't using AI as a drone applicator or business,
Yeah.
you're losing out.
Sweet.
Because you can literally just tell it exactly what you want to tell it. I'm going to spread 10,000 pounds of fertilizer. My drone carries 100 pounds of fertilizer, and it has a something swath. How long is it going to take me if my batteries? You can put all that in, and it'll
sweet.
send it right back to you
Yeah.
what it's going to take.
Well, my question is like they're doing 400 pounds to the acre, and it's going to take you.
that's fine.
It's going to take you a long time. How is it?
but
how's
how
a
else are
farmer
they going to
able-
do it?
Yeah. How
Well,
else are you going
right
to do
now
it? But how is the farmer able to afford that?
With a 5-gallon bucket and H2A label, we're quicker than that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So So we're just charging. We're just telling these guys we'll charge by the hour, $400 an hour. If they have somebody bucketed and fertilized, whatever.
Good business. It's,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
you see that's going to grow and take
Oh
off.
man, the way as hard it is to find good labor and expensive as H2A labor is. It's just-
Tell me what H2H.
so H2A is. Can you edit this?
Go ahead, yeah.
We need to Google that.
So I think what it is, H2A is from workers outside the country.
Yes. They
Okay.
get a worker's visa.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know the right.
Okay. No, that's all good.
Yeah.
So you're saying that labor is going up as well.
Yeah. So it's
It's up a lot. If
Yeah,
you'd
yeah.
have Grok, you just put it right in there, and she's going to tell you.
okay. But yeah.
But
so,
Jay can't use it because he's an Android guy.
I can use it. I just have to get on their website.
Oh
Right,
yeah?
yeah.
But it's
Right.
coming
I
to
figured that
Android.
out.
It's coming to Android.
Yeah. So they're getting labor. Most of these guys up there are Hispanic or South Africans. They come in on a work
Yep.
visa.
Yep.
And,
South Africans, dude,
yeah.
you bring that up.
Yep.
I always get DMs from people in South Africa that want to come work here.
Yeah. Yeah. Bring it on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of this stuff is like the Christmas tree workers. They have this super high labor because they're trimming trees. They're manually throwing out fertilizer. There was one farmer I talked to. He has 50 H2A workers every year that come in, and he got 4 less this year because of the drone that he bought. So
Nice.
yeah,
Nice.
so and he's sending.
I mean, not nice for the people that were working, but it's
Well,
like,
for the farmer.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
the farmer's
for sure.
paying these guys
Yeah.
anywhere from $30,000 to $40,000 a year to come here and work for 6 months, and now he can not,
Yeah.
he's able to save that money to buy, a $30,000
Yep.
drone to replace $120,000
Dude, that's
worth
huge.
of
Yeah.
That's massive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is
How,
huge.
how old a fella are you?
30.
30 years old.
Yep.
What made you want to get into drones?
It's kind of a wild story. I mentioned in my cattle background, I was doing grass-fed beef and had some summer annuals that we were grazing, and I had a buddy of mine.
What does that mean? Sorry, like so I don't know. What
Yeah, sorry.
Summer annuals.
So
means.
So we were grazing, doing grass-fed beef, right?
Okay.
So summer annuals is like sorghum. That is
Okay,
just
so
an-
you grow sorghum in a
Yep.
field, and then you
or
send
pasture,
your,
pasture,
in
send my
pasture.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Send my cattle out to graze it to make
Okay.
a higher quality. Because most time grass-fed
And
beef is junk
the annuals you have to seed it every year.
every year.
Yep.
Yep.
Is that broadcasted or drilled?
Most of the time drilled.
Okay.
But I had this summer annual, the sorghum Sudan mix. It was like sorghum, sunflowers, and cowpeas, and a bunch of different things. Basically like a food plot for
Okay.
cattle.
Yeah.
And it was like rank, 14 foot tall, hadn't been grazed. And I wanted my buddy to come up and spread winter annuals. So like a winter cover crop, like triticale, barley, radishes. spread that over top of my summer annuals, and then the cattle would graze it and trample it in.
Yeah.
So I only had like 15 acres, and my buddy Harrison Jenkins in Statesville, he's a little bit south of me. He's like an hour away. He had a T40, and I told him to come up. And I asked my dad, he grows row crops.
Okay.
I asked him, I said, let's get some of your acres together to make it worthwhile coming.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad was like, let's just go buy one.
Okay.
So I was like,
Just randomly,
Yeah.
never used it, just
never
go
used
buy
it.
one.
Yeah, so apparently he went out to
I like that type of farmer. What are they called? Like progressive?
Yeah.
Or
Yep.
like, yeah.
Yep. So
Because not all farmers are like that.
No,
Like,
no.
new technology. Nah, I'm not going to use it.
well, apparently in July he went out west in Indiana to Hereford Junior Nationals. It's a cow show, but
Okay.
that's besides the point. But he laid over at a farm in Indiana, and they just had bought one. So apparently he'd been spinning it in his mind
Yep.
since July. But this
Nice.
happened in September. That was on a Friday, and Friday morning at 9 o'clock, and we had a T40 in our driveway Monday morning. Yeah.
Somebody local was selling them or something?
No, actually.
You overnighted one. Go ahead. Tell
Okay.
us.
Yeah. So we called up.
No, this is an open podcast.
Okay. So actually, we called up AgriSpray, and and that guy was pretty close, and he's been great to work with ever since. But
Okay.
we ended up going with another guy that wasn't local, another AgriSpray dealer that was
Okay.
like 9 hours away, Johnny, down in South Georgia, and he brought it up and was there
Nice.
at 9 o'clock in the
Nice.
morning, and man, it's
And then did he show you how to use
oh,
it,
yeah.
or he just
Dude,
dropped it on?
No, he ended up staying with me. He stayed with me Monday. We sprayed fungicide on our beans.
Yeah, so
On-
that you definitely got your exemption overnight.
All that stuff. Yeah, we were
within 1 weekend.
Yeah, we were super legal, and so he shows up Monday. We didn't have a clue. Like I knew nothing. about it.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
Monday,
You probably didn't even know you needed it.
yeah, no, I didn't.
Exactly.
I didn't.
It's like for a farmer, do you think you should need it?
yes.
You actually.
You think so?
I don't know, man. It's,
Yeah.
if you're just doing your own stuff, I don't see the problem with it. But you are in airspace. You don't need to be stupid with it.
yeah, but does,
Dude, you're
does
not
the FAA
really in airspace.
Yeah, exactly.
honestly.
I call in NOTAMs, and every time I call one in, the guy laughs. He's like 40 feet above ground. I was like, yeah, most of the time I won't even be 20 feet off.
Yep. Yeah.
And he's like, why are you wasting my time? But no, Johnny stayed with us on Monday. Ended up spending the night in my spare bedroom.
Nice.
And we
Now,
got up.
that guy is offering service.
Yeah, he's top notch, dude. And then Tuesday we wake up and put the spreader on, and he's from South Georgia Flatland, and we started doing some of our pasture stuff. And I know this is totally wrong. I'm gonna have to hit up Johnny because he's hilarious. But he mapped my pasture out on the screen of the remote with trees in it.
Oh.
He put obstacles around the trees, like the shadows in the tree of the remote and everything. Like
This
Johnny,
is not going to work.
Not gonna work. Ended up crashing the drone.
Oh,
That
no.
day?
Yeah, that day.
Oh, my.
Yes.
No.
Yes. It come up to the obstacle. He's like, all right, it's going to bypass it. And it did. It went around it, and he slid it over too fast, like the break point.
Okay.
Slid it over too fast, slid it right into the tree.
Okay. Yeah,
So-
because at that time it wasn't that great at side obstacle avoidance.
Right.
If it was going
Right.
forward, it's fine.
Yep. So he just slid right into it.
Wow.
But he that was on Tuesday. He loaded it up in the back of his truck, drove to South Georgia, and my dad and brother-in-law left out the next morning and went to South Georgia and picked it up fully repaired. So,
Wow.
Yep.
Impressive.
Business,
Impressive.
man. Yeah.
That's how you got into it. I
That's
would
how-
say that you were just like, what, less than 4 days you had a drone? You were like, I think we should.
Yeah. So then it took 7 months to get fully legal.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a
Well,
pain in the butt.
I think we're about there right now. It's ridiculous
It's
how long
too
it
long.
takes to
Yeah.
become illegal with air quotes on
Yeah.
that one there.
Man, it's like then I never even knew how to fly a drone. I never even flew a drone before. And then here I am.
Were you
with
scared flying it?
it.
I'm
Probably,
glad
yeah,
you brought
probably,
that
yeah.
up because
Yeah.
guys ask us all the time, I know nothing. And I'm like, you
Dude.
don't need to.
Oh, well, I shouldn't say I've never flown a drone. I've had less than 20 minutes of flight time behind the sticks of a drone.
Okay.
But nothing crazy. But
Yeah.
no, it is really hard to wreck it almost.
Yeah.
If you've got everything set the way it's supposed to be
Yeah.
set, if you got
Yeah.
somebody training you to make sure everything's set,
Yep.
it's almost impossible.
Yep. I agree.
I mean,
With
really.
the radars and stuff. So the T25P has the radar in the back as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, that
it's-
thing's really good.
No, it's-
way better than the 40.
Oh,
Dude, by the end of it, I may not have crashed all of them
yep.
because there was a lot.
And you got to be careful too. I mean,
That was like 4 or 5 drones.
yeah.
I didn't do it all. Did I do them all? No,
No. It wasn't
didn't
all.
do them
I
all.
think you might have
but
got
it's
3.
a learning. But it's a learning experience.
Yep.
But now you can take the knowledge that I've gained and have somebody
Yep.
next to
Yep.
you like, educate you.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that's what I didn't understand. Like, I bought this drone. Obviously, I didn't know nothing about being legal, which Johnny helped me as much as he can. But North Carolina has so many different restrictions. We got to have 125 hours of apprenticeship time under our apprentice. And I start calling all these people that are local to me, and they won't even give me answers. Like, guys, we need to be in this together.
Yeah.
We need to grow together.
Yeah.
Like, this is an industry that we all need to be together and learning.
Yep.
One bad apple can ruin it for everybody.
Yeah.
Yep.
So what would you say to somebody that wants to start this in North Carolina? If it starts with, right, you need to have your commercial pesticide applicator's license, and you need to have that amount of experience. How's he going to get it?
Call me. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We're actually building a shop right now, and we're going to put an apartment in it so that these people that are wanting to come can come and live with me for a couple weeks till they get those hours and roll out.
So how many hours did you say it was?
125.
125.
And
That's not
I'm
bad,
still working
actually.
on the details of this.
So
but
how long is that going to take? You just going to have him sleep next to you while you're flying through the night? And
well, no, I got an apartment in my shop.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm just saying, like, how long is he going to stay there to get 120 some hours?
Like a week or two?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't really look at the
and-
numbers and figure out.
Yeah, and also it's not you don't have to be. It's not 125 hours side by side. It's basically like me and you talking about a mission tomorrow.
Yeah.
That could count as
Okay,
time.
so would
Okay.
I qualify because I have experience? Like, could I go buy it in North Carolina? Because I got way more than that. Or do I have to be in the state of
in
North
the state. In the state.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
What?
I think so.
Yeah, because we just heard,
Like New York is kind of like that, but if you have your applicator's license in another state, I believe you can get it.
but I also just heard that Nevada has it takes you 2 years experience to get chemical license out there. But if I have the experience elsewhere,
You can get it.
Yeah,
I can get it.
Maybe.
I wonder.
I'm not
Yeah.
sure about that.
Well, we'll check into that.
Yeah.
Not that we have to discuss it right now.
Yeah.
But that's cool. So you want to help people because
For sure.
there's people calling us at NuWay from North Carolina and they tell us this. It's like, well, I want to get into it, but how am I going to do it if I can't?
Yeah, and that's the other problem. Everybody that's legal, to be this apprenticeship is potentially competitors. So
they don't really want to do it.
They don't really want to do it.
Yeah.
So I got lucky.
Yep.
We got an extension agent in North Carolina that helped me do it. So it was great. Didn't charge me anything, but I feel like I have something to offer as far as my experience with doing all this stuff. So I haven't figured out all the details on how we're going to do that, but
Yeah.
I feel like it could easily somebody could come and stay with me for a week and.
Nice.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so you
really
got
cool.
this drone. You just got thrown into it.
Dude.
The drone crashed in front of you at day
Yep.
one.
Yep.
How did you feel after that?
Man, that was a bad feeling.
Yeah.
The first, like literally the second day I've had this thing, and you said, I wish I'd have took a picture of it. I didn't take a picture of it, but it was a
mangled.
wreck.
Yeah.
It was a wreck. But you're so like disheartened, and Johnny, he was there, and he it's nothing out of the ordinary. He knows it can be fixed.
Yep.
And I'm just like, can this thing even fly again?
I know. It is nuts what you can do to them.
Yeah.
And they'll fly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
But because every
I mean,
single
you can,
part.
Yeah, you can fix any part on it.
Every single part can be replaced.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and I really haven't. I mean, I did wreck it one other time than that, but that was my fault. So I M plus around all the fields, and I forgot to come back and manually fly around a tree. And I actually had – this is a pretty crazy story. So I actually had a loan officer there that was there to buy that T-25. So I was busy talking to him. So I was flying around the edge of a pasture, and there was a tree like inset, like 30, 40 foot from the edge, and I forgot to fly around that tree. So I come back, and I was going uphill, which it wasn't very steep, but I always cut my radar off
Why?
for the T-40 to actually fly the terrain.
Yeah. T-40.
Yep.
Yep.
So I had my radar cut off so the T-40 could actually fly it and not be buckling all the time.
Yep.
And was talking to the loan officer, and next thing I know, my motor stall, and I look, and all I can see is a tree trunk. I mean, it is buried in the tree.
That is the worst feeling.
Yep. So I was like, well, I'll take you back to your car now.
Did you take him back before we went and got it?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. I was like, there is no sense in you being here anymore.
Did he give you a long part?
No. I actually ended up. It worked out great. Kent was there. He's an applicator in Virginia, and the guy I deal with now, Acreage Ag, is in Dublin, Virginia. So we pulled it out of the tree. Kent helped me pull it out of the tree, and I was only 45 minutes away from Acreage Ag, and they have a whole warehouse full of parts. So we were back flying in 3 hours.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep.
It's crazy how little time it actually takes to fix them.
Oh,
like when you first looked at it. Okay, so for myself, I seen a drone. I was like scared to like even take this prop off or this foam and to dig into it. But it's like plug and play.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like just take things apart. And it's going to plug in just like, it's super easy.
Yep.
That's cool. So how many acres were you able to get done in your first season? And when was your first season?
Yeah, so my first season was I started the fall and just played around with it. And then
2023? Okay.
And then I got fully legal in May of 24. So from there on, we sprayed 4,000 acres.
Wow. With one drone?
Yeah, one pilot. I had the 25 there at the end, but it was always just me flying.
Wow,
so I had
that's
two drones.
impressive.
Yeah,
On that gnarly type of
yeah. So now I also I can go down eastern part of the state. I do a lot of traveling. So I was literally in Southport on the Cape Fear River, like at the beach, spraying rice, and 2 days later I was in that gnarly terrain spraying pastures. So
yeah, I tell people if you're wanting to get into this, you got to be willing to put in some work.
Yeah. And my first season was tough because it was such a bad drought last year. I only sprayed 200 acres of corn fungicide.
Wow.
So I mean,
everybody had a tough year last year.
Yeah. So if commodity prices go up and we get some good rain and good weather, North Carolina is so diverse in its crops that I'm able to. I sprayed 4,000 acres last year, but I've already sprayed and spread seed on 1,000 acres this year so far.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's impressive.
And it's March.
Yeah. And it's March.
Yeah.
So we got into Christmas trees, spraying deer repellent on Christmas trees too.
I wondered if that would work.
Yep.
That's always something that
how
I
often
thought.
do you have to spray that?
Every 30 days.
No way.
That's cool.
Yep. So.
But it's worth it for them because they'll lose their crop.
Yeah. Yeah. No, there's
you remember when I brought that up, Jay?
Yeah. There's
food plots. Think about it. Dude, this is a whole different business.
Yep.
It's coming right now as you're talking to us on this podcast. Like it's a whole business where people pay high dollar money to have a food plot put in.
Yep.
Deer repellent the thing.
Yep. Yeah, because oftentimes they spend thousands of dollars planting, planting these food plots, and then there's too many deer there, and they just demolish it before it even
I
comes
wonder,
up.
what's that stuff called that you're putting on it?
Buck barrier. It's
Buck
awesome.
barrier. I Googled it. I think it's an
essential oil.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a really good product. You can actually put it on bare ground at 32, and it's only 2 gallons to the acre. So you put 32 ounces on bare ground, and it'll protect that plant for 30 days before it even comes up.
Wow.
So it somehow has got some kind of technology that'll get in the plant, and it messes with the deer's senses and also their saliva glands.
Wow. Okay, so anybody that's listening right now in our area in Tuscarawas, Holmes County area, if you guys do food plots, or anywhere really, if you guys, because there's businesses that do just that, get a hold of a guy that has a spray drone and protect that stuff. Because if you're putting in clover or alfalfa for deer, I mean, protect that stuff till it's tall. Then let them get in there and hammer it.
Yep. Yeah, you could probably
guarantee there's people that do that. There's people that spend $20,000-$30,000 to get their hunting place ready to hunt.
No, for real.
No joke. No joke.
Yeah.
Yep. Dude, we could bring you up and you just do the food plot stuff for a while.
Yeah, sounds good. We got the T25. We can let her eat. It's perfect for food plots.
Yeah, that would be.
Yeah.
Oh, that's nice.
For sure.
Yeah, man.
What is that company called that you did food plot stuff for?
Whitetail
Habitat Solutions.
No.
Something.
No, it's not that. That's the
shoot. Anyhow, we're gonna. We'll okay.
Whitetail
so now
Habitat
you really,
Designs, I think.
now you really got me going. Okay, so you do buck barrier or deer repellent on?
Yeah, on Christmas trees, man. These Christmas trees, they're planting like 1,000 to the acre, 1,000, 1,500 to the acre, and a standard Christmas tree, 6-7 foot tall Christmas tree, they can sell for $50-$60, and maybe I'm a little off on the money there. But then there's also in the same field, deer pressure is so bad that the tree's basically worthless. Like there'll be 6-foot trees with just absolute 4-foot holes eating in the side of them. So instead of a 6-foot tree, it's a 2-foot tree now. They got to cut the top off of it.
Yeah.
Or
nobody wants a Christmas tree with the top cut off.
Exactly. No. Yeah. Exactly. And then there's just places that are just complete sticks. Like you got 6-foot pretty Christmas trees, and then acres of trees that are just completely sticks where the deer eat them.
Would you say that do they have any data that it worked?
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, not true data, but one of the problems out there in the winter times, whenever it snows, is the only thing that's there to eat is the Christmas tree because all the ground's covered.
So are these Christmas trees on mountains?
Oh yeah.
Okay, so how do they get the Christmas trees out?
By hand.
Okay.
Labor.
Okay. So that's why I brought it up. Fly cart that stuff out of there.
Yep. I've been talking to the Christmas tree grower that I deal with, and
I will tell you. They think, and I would love to have the Christmas tree farmer tell us if that's a crop or not, but the FAA doesn't think that that's a crop.
That's stupid.
And that it doesn't fall under agricultural. Because if it's not under ag, how would you do it on your 137? Yeah.
Yeah.
Got some guys thinking now.
Yeah, I don't know.
So it's a crop. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Like, the FAA is trying to say that Christmas tree farming is not agricultural.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
But
FAA says a bunch of shit.
They do. They do.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. They but this Christmas tree deal is going to be huge for the drone industry.
Yeah.
Huge. I mean, we're talking about this deer repellent, fertilizer. We also frost seed clover in these things as well.
Okay.
So we'll throw out clover. I should be doing that now instead of here. And,
we're here and it's Alabama and it's sunny and you should be spreading seed.
But hey, we get to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
But anyways, frost seed clover, and then they come in and spray 8 ounces of glyphosate over top of these trees.
What?
Yeah.
It does not kill the trees.
No, you got to do it at a certain time before bud break. So just to stunt the grass and the briars and stuff give the trees a little more.
Are you blowing it down in, or are you just going across at full speed?
Going across it.
Oh, yeah?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's cool.
Yep. So right now they're doing it with mist blowers on these mountainsides or by hand with backpacks.
No.
Yeah.
We still do that in America?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. This Christmas tree deal is huge. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Even in orchards and stuff. We sold a T50 to a guy that was previously to buying the T50, he would just pull some kind of sprayer behind his tractor, and he was trying to get 10 gallons to the acre by just like blowing it up in.
Yep.
But he said he has no idea how much he's actually putting out. He's just thinking, trying to get it to that gallons per acre, but he has no idea.
Yep.
Now he's using T50.
Yeah, it's the Christmas tree industry is going to be big.
Yeah.
Drones.
Would you, the market that you're in or the area that you're in, how many drones are around there?
It's growing.
Is it too full?
No, Lord, no. No, that's what, like, whenever I called all these guys locally, like, it got better. I guess they realized who I was and that I could be a benefit to them, too, and it got better. We talk now, but there is so many acres out there to be covered.
Yep,
I mean,
I couldn't agree more.
I'm the chair for young farmers and ranchers in our state, Farm Bureau Young Farmers and Ranchers, and I go to all these high schools that I can or colleges and just talk to them, like, especially high schools. There is no reason right now for a guy that's willing to work to go to college whenever this kind of opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, absolutely. Why would you go to college whenever you can buy a drone a heck of a lot cheaper now?
It's 40% cheaper.
40% cheaper. Holy cow. Anyways,
we're talking about so here at the show we were just like I was sideswiped by
shocker.
Punched in the gut, balls, whatever you want to say.
Yeah, by DJI. We're all sitting in this big conference room, and DJI comes out and says that they're dropping their T50 and T25P.
Yeah.
40%. And we're a dealer of it here at NuWay Ag. We have stock that we paid more money for the drone at a wholesale price than you can now buy at retail.
That's insane.
Insane.
Anyhow.
So why would these high schoolers not come out and buy a T25 for less than $10,000 and be able to pay for it in 2 days spraying Christmas trees? I'm being dead serious.
Yeah.
Why would you go to college? Maybe
party.
Maybe go on the weekends. You can do that on the weekends, but
yeah, you could do that on the weekends. Still party
when it's windy. when it's windy out, when it's windy, you can go to Raleigh,
and you'll actually have money to party.
Dude, it's wild.
Jeez.
But I mean, in all seriousness, this is a huge industry for young people to get involved in, because I have people that I'm trying to sell drones to, these Christmas tree farmers, but they have nobody to fly them. So if nothing else, these kids can get legal. If they don't want to go out and buy a drone or don't have the money to, they can work for these farmers and use. And I'm sure if they get their stuff done on those farms, then they could go out and do their own stuff with that drone too. I'm sure. I would imagine.
So how do you get work? How are you getting work?
Well, I'm so one thing that I think is advantage for me is my ag background.
Yep.
So I can talk to these farmers a little bit better than, no offense, most drone operators can.
Yeah.
But
for you, I mean,
that's just
so it's just how it is.
It's just part of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally was at a stoplight the other day, and a truck had farm tags, and I run out of my truck and gave him a business card. Like that's
cool.
That's the type of guy that I am.
But you got to have hustle like that.
Oh,
like,
yeah, for sure.
Even drone guy that doesn't know anything
Yeah.
about farming,
Yeah.
if he sees that, like
Get
what,
out and give him a card.
Get out and give him a card.
I like it.
Yeah.
That's a
Yeah.
hustle.
Yeah. So I mean, that's just, I'll drive by a piece of property and think about, man, that's a big flat field, and I'll stop at the shop and talk to the guys, and that's the only way that you can do it.
Yep.
And whenever you say you're going to
Dude,
do it,
that's so good you're bringing that up because
whenever you say you're going to do something, you better do it.
yeah.
And this is not a business where it's 9 to 5. I mean, there's a lot of times I'll get in the truck at 3 o'clock in the morning. You guys do the same thing.
Yeah. Yep.
3 o'clock in the morning, you better be there to start spraying at
We
sunrise.
literally got up the other morning at 3:30,
Yep.
and I'm at the farm, and I was like, oh, man, this is a grind. Like, I'm literally thinking that.
But
you can make money.
you can make money, and there's nothing else than seeing a sunrise come up. Dude, it's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
God's just giving you something. Like, I literally watch the sun come up over a mountain, and you're sitting there like, this is awesome. Like,
Yep.
this is I feel like this is my place to be in, God's earth, taking care of God's creation. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's just awesome.
Yeah, that's
so
super
talking
cool.
about the sunrise, I got to show you this one. Yep. This was one of those mornings. Sun is just cresting.
Yeah.
We're watching a video right now of the all-new T60X knocking out some acres with the sun coming up.
Dude,
It's just nothing like it.
No, there's
Like,
absolutely nothing like it.
Yo,
Yeah.
but the guys have to be willing to work.
Oh,
Like,
for sure.
Yep.
You got to get out there and you got to grind.
Oh, it is a grind.
Yeah. So you brought up about you just have to stop and talk to people,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to be releasing a video doing that exact thing to show people like this is so new. You have to educate people, and if you're scared to talk to people and randomly going into a driveway and knocking on the door, it's probably not going to work for you right now. Now, in the future, in 5-10 years, when everybody knows that drone spray
Yep.
or drone spread, then, Farmer Joe goes drone sprayer near me or something like that on his Google phone. But until then, you got to door knock and you got to educate people and do that. Dude, it's so cool you brought that up.
Yep. And one thing we done a lot of was field days. Which that's a benefit for us. We have our own farm. We were hosting these field days all across the state. So going to our friends' farms and getting with our extension to offer pesticide credits. So a lot of these farmers want pesticide credits to be outside where they're actually learning something. So we can actually go and make these pesticide credits outside available to farmers, have some food, and they get free outdoor pesticide credits instead of being stuck in a class.
Wow.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yep. So I done like 5 field days across the state, 4 or 5 field days across
And
the
how
state.
do you set those up?
Just with extension agents.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you just call them up and be like, hey, I have a drone. Do you want to do a demo?
Yep.
Or okay.
Yep.
Nice.
Yep. And
That's cool.
Yeah, and it's going to be crazy this year between young farmer and rancher stuff, and then now that everybody was new and scared of it, but now everybody wants to know something about it. So you have to go through my calendar. I've got whenever I get back next week, I've got 2 field days next week I got to do.
Good for you.
Yeah. So
Good for
it's
you.
2 or 3 a month.
Wow.
And are you getting paid to do that? That's free.
No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's free.
And you got to be willing to do
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
during this stage of the game. It's so early. You
Yeah.
got to educate. You got to show them the technology.
Yeah, and which there is going to be some point. Do I quit doing that stuff and just spray by myself, or do I go out and do these field days and have people hired at home to run it? And
that was going to be my next question is where do you see yourself going as far as custom ad?
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
I don't.
Because it's growing so fast.
It's growing so.
Yeah.
I mean, I have 2 small kids at home and got 1 more coming, so it's kind of hard for me to be hustling and bustling like this to some point because I want to be at home with my kids. But this business is so new. There's a fine line there. Like if I'm not the first one in it or the first one to these guys, they're going to stick with their
Original.
applicator.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
See, and that's another cool thing about this business is like it's not a one and done. Like
Yeah.
oftentimes it's going to be repeat, and sometimes you'll do it multiple times that same year.
Yep.
It almost to me feels like a lawn care business.
Yep. Yep. So like the herbicide, and a lot of people are scared of herbicide, but a lot of this pasture herbicide work we do, I mean, they've got weeds that they want to kill now in March. Well, they also got new weeds that's coming in July that they want to kill, and then we're seeding in in the fall. and frost seed and clover.
And you know the nice thing too, you make your boundary one time.
That's
that
it.
thing's done.
Yep.
You come back next time, it's half the work.
Yep.
Yeah. If you're going back to that same field.
Yep.
Yeah. So the farmers down there, they already know that you can spray pastures, or are you educating them, hey, I have a drone and I can pay you?
Both. So one thing that I am doing is each county has a cattlemen's association. So I'm going to these cattlemen's associations. They have meetings like every month. So I'll go to different county cattlemen associations and do a little presentation or a demo. And so these guys in each county, they'll have a group of 20, 30 farmers show up, and then I'm kind of going to my hill country where all these hills are and setting up and showing them what we can do.
Look how much more we could be doing, Jay. What are we doing?
We're too dang busy the way it is.
Yeah.
But no, you're doing it right, dude.
Yeah,
That's the way
that's
you have
good.
to do
Well,
it.
some people do it with YouTube, and some people do it with cattlemen.
Well, no,
Yeah.
you know what? I feel bad because I did a project for a farmer doing clover, frost seeding.
Yep.
And he's like, we had no idea that this was available.
Yep.
He's like, could you spray my wheat? I was like, sure. could you spray my neighbor's corn? Could you spray my pasture? Like, he's like, I didn't know.
Yep.
And I'm like, guys, if you get on the road, the farmers don't know.
Well,
and they want it.
They want it.
They
and
want
that's,
it.
And that's they asked me, like, could you come up here and do 20 acres? And you guys know it sucks to go somewhere, drive 2 hours and do 20 acres. I'm like, I could do that, but I would have to charge you a lot. I would really like for you to get some other neighbors close by to make it worthwhile.
That's
And
exactly.
so if they're going to save money, they're going to call up 6 of their buddies close by. And instead of a 20-acre job, it turns into a 200-acre job.
Yep. Exactly.
Yep.
Do you have a minimum to go out?
If it's close, yes and no. But if I'm going out, I'm saying $600 minimum job plus travel, and as busier I get, I mean obviously we're about to up that or start hand picking jobs a little better. I haven't really turned anybody down at the moment.
Yep. What's the highest paying job you ever had?
So I done a job down east. I sprayed 270 acres in one day with a T40 and $18 an acre.
Okay, nice.
Yeah, so that's $4,800 in a day. It was
That's a good payday.
It was
That is a really good pay.
With one drone?
with one drone.
Jeez.
Yeah.
How much cost did you have that day?
fuel?
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It's
Exactly.
insane.
Yeah,
What,
with
maybe
12 gallons of gas. I had to. I filled up my generator, and then
The generator's 10 gallons.
Yeah, and then I run out because
Yep.
I didn't have I don't usually do jobs that big, so I run out of gas. So the farmer come and put like a couple gallons, so 10 gallons of gas.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah,
10
that's
gallons
crazy.
of gas, and it was probably, like $3.85 a
Yeah.
gallon.
Yeah.
Wow, you had a whole $38.
Well, we got fuel getting there.
Okay,
but
okay,
yeah,
so $200 in fuel?
probably 3 because it was a 3-hour drive away from me. But
$300 in fuel?
yeah,
Margins.
Yeah,
I mean,
margins.
yeah. There's not a whole lot of things you can do to
Yeah.
make $4,000 in one day.
But
No,
it's work.
yeah,
Let's
no,
not
no,
kid
no,
yourselves.
no,
like,
no, no.
guys, when
Oh,
if
dude.
you are listening, like, we're talking these numbers, but it's like, you have to work for it.
Dude, I had poison oak.
Oh, man.
Oh,
tell
my
us,
God,
dude.
dude.
Why'd you get poison oak?
I don't know how I got poison oak, but I was in the eastern part of the state, and it's like mosquitoes and dog. We call them dog. Well, we call them gnats. Anyway,
Tell me what.
we call them dog pecker gnats.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyways.
Why?
Yeah, exactly. But I had poison oak so bad, or I had it all over my face, around my eyes. The poison oak oil was dripping off my nose. I had it in my ear.
Oh,
I had it in my ear. It was dripping out of my ear. Horrible, dude.
Oh my god.
Awful. Luckily, I bought a Harbor Freight, like a little Harbor Freight 20-volt fan, and I was literally sitting in front of that thing, and it was easy flying because it was flat. I was sitting in front of that thing, absolutely dying with that fan blowing straight. It was so bad. I had a job lined up on the way home to do some. I was actually spraying tobacco, spraying some MH30 on tobacco, which is kind of cool because
What is that? I don't.
tobacco.
Tobacco.
Yeah, tobacco.
Oh,
sorry.
okay.
Sorry, tobacco. Whatever.
I heard tobacco.
Yeah,
I was.
it's the same thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're down south.
Yeah, we're down south. But I was spraying a growth regulator on tobacco. But I was super excited about it. And I told the guy, I left that field at 10, finally got finished up at 10:30 after I wrapped up.
PM.
Yeah, p.m. Drove to Raleigh to spend the night with my cousin, which was like an hour and a half ride. So I get there at midnight, and I'm just miserable. And I
with poison
oh,
oak.
dude, I was miserable. I texted the guy. I said, I don't know when I'll be there in the morning. Honestly, I don't know when I'll be there. I ended up getting a shot in the ass the next morning at
get it
urgent
going.
care. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did it go away then right away?
Yeah, well, not right away, but
Definitely
the
helped
itching?
right away.
oh, it definitely helped. Yeah.
So you touched your face or something with poison oak?
Yeah, something is bad. But I'm super allergic, so.
Oh, okay.
But never. It was like it's usually like on my arms, and it's not that big of a deal. But it started getting around my eyes, and I was a little worried about it getting in my eyes.
Swollen.
So, yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. But I woke up the next morning like the whole face was swelling. But we ended up. I was a little slow getting out of there, but I got to that tobacco field at like 10 o'clock and done some morning glory jobs on some corn there too. So got some jobs on the way home, and then the next day after that, I went west and sprayed like 200 acres of pasture. I was literally 7 hours away from where I was sprayed that morning to 2 days later. I mean,
Wow.
that's how much traveling it was.
Wow. So you're a cattle farmer, and now you do this. Do you see drones taking over the cattle farming thing or not really?
I mean, there's definitely – you talking about my business?
Yeah.
Oh, I've done sold my cows. Yeah. No,
Wait, because of drones?
Yeah.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
glad I brought that up.
Yeah. No, the cattle market is crazy right now.
Crazy good or crazy bad?
Crazy good. Super high. And anybody listening, like the herbicide work right now is a good time to get it because these cattle farmers are making bank.
Ah.
Yeah. So
Okay, so educate us on pasture. Why should somebody that raises cattle spray their cattle ground?
Oh, just
I'm trying to understand. I don't raise cattle, so I don't
Yeah.
know how it works. Like, is it like a yield? It's not a
yeah,
yielding.
Yeah, it's basically a yield. You get more grass per square foot. Instead of weeds taking it over and choking out the grass, we can
Okay.
just spray the weeds. We're spraying herbicide that's a selective herbicide, only kills
Yep,
broadleaves.
broadleaf, yep.
So, yep.
So that means you could run maybe more cows.
Oh, for sure, per acre, yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and especially like the stuff I'm doing in the mountains, we're able to, this stuff hasn't been touched in years.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
ever.
So once, let's say it's really bad, like broadleaves, and you kill it, you would then seed it, right?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah, and that's one thing. You really need a good seed to soil contact. So drones may not be the best for reseeding something. You would want to
Maybe frost seeding it?
You could definitely frost seed clover.
Yeah.
And then like up north, from what I hear, like if you got enough snow, maybe you could throw the grass seed out, but right before a big snow, and it can kind of push the grass seed down. Or you can. I don't know. Many farmers wouldn't do the stuff that I done as far as like rotational grazing, but you can move your cattle around to where they were grazing a strip like long ways
Yep.
if we're doing rotational grazing to like trample the stuff in.
Okay.
But yeah.
So for the most part, guys aren't using drones to spread grass seed if it's on pasture that already has some grass on it.
Yeah,
It'd have to
yeah.
be pretty
you
bare.
Yeah, it would have to be bare, and then you would want to try to incorporate it into the soil. It would have to be like ideal conditions to get grass seed to come up.
Oh yeah.
With a drone.
Because I'm thinking like our area is really wet in the spring,
Yeah.
and if cows are on the field and we go spread it, they're gonna walk around it.
Yeah,
And
and
some
if it rains enough, you'll be fine.
yeah.
But if it doesn't, then
But
yeah, it
but
doesn't
with
do
the
anything.
drones, you could try to check the forecast.
Oh, for
and,
sure.
and see
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
it's coming in. And, try to,
and one thing that I've done, even with the cover crop side of business, is if it's good weather to spray, we'll go spray. But if there's a chance of rain, I'll switch over to cover crops or spreading seeds, just so if it does rain, we're not washing off our chemical, but we are there to get a good germination
Yeah.
on the seed.
Yeah.
Yep.
What'd your wife say when she said, or you
Oh,
told her we're gonna sell the cows?
Oh
or
no,
do-
she loved it because I would be 4 hours away and the dang cows would get out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we had the beef business, and it was a good business, but with cattle prices the way they are, narrow margins, and I've been so busy last year doing this drone thing, my fences have kind of gotten a wreck, and I keep a lot of my cattle behind one strand of polywire just because they're so used to polywire,
Okay.
temporary fence. So if I'm gone and it's cloudy outside and the solar panel dies on my fence box and then the cows are out and my dad's having to get cattle out of the road, and so yeah, we'll get back to cattle, but for right now we'll take care of this drone business.
That's cool. So are you operating mostly off of the ground, or do you have some type of trailer setup?
So I've got a truck that is that we built, and it's a double-decker truck. It is
So it'd have a flight deck up top, like
Yeah.
you're actually landing and taking off on the top.
most of the time, yep.
Do you feel it's pretty important to have some type of setup that you're landing and taking off
Yes and no. It depends on what you're doing. It's all kind of.
Oh yeah, he's showing me a picture of its truck right now. A nice flight deck up top.
Yep. So
what if NuWay would make something like that?
Oh,
Is
yeah,
that something
that's
you
cool.
purchase?
Yeah.
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 Yeah, we're thinking about it.
Yeah. No, I think that definitely has its place. For one, I can't haul that NuWay trailer around up them mountains where I'm at.
I get it. I get it.
But the only problem about that is if I'm spreading seed, then I'm either got to throw the seed up top of the deck because all my batteries are stored up there too.
Yep.
So that's kind of the problem. But as far as spraying and being efficient, the most efficient thing or the biggest thing that we run into is moving around all these small fields, and you have to have a place to, if nothing else, land your drone up top and just be able to strap it down and roll.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, because efficiency is key moving around all these small pastures.
How'd you use your drones when that flooding happened in North Carolina?
Yeah, that was some wild stuff, man. I got hooked up with the NuWay Ag crew and Russell Hedrick and Jake Harris and Jeff and them, and we ended up running fly carts. And I didn't really do much flying; they done most of the flying, but I was around I was very familiar with this stuff, obviously because it's basically the same thing, right?
Yep. So a fly cart is basically a big spray drone that is made to pick things up.
Yeah.
And you guys went down there. And
Yeah, we ended up delivering 3.5 tons of supplies to people that couldn't be got to with the drone.
That's impressive.
Dude, it was
super cool.
It was the coolest. I wasn't a part of this, but the coolest thing is the hurricane happened on Friday, and then I got there Monday, and I ended up leaving out Friday, just slap wore out. But they got a call Saturday, so this is a week after the hurricane. Saturday, there was a mom that finally got cell phone signal, and her and her 3 kids. She was breastfeeding her youngest infant, had run out of food, run out of water, and she'd been out of water for like 2 days, or out of food for like 2 days. And they were able to deliver 700 pounds of diapers, formula, everything she needed in 45 minutes. 2,200 feet away, able to deliver that stuff to her.
Doggone! Wow. How'd she get phone service?
I don't know. Maybe she walked somewhere. I don't know all the details of it, but I mean that's, and every time I get a chance to tell this story, what we done in the mountains could not have been done without anything other than Chinese drones.
Yeah. But because we don't have American drones, we
don't have. People would have literally died in these mountains without these Chinese drones, or you would put so many people in risk trying to get to these people because of the landslides, because of the road washouts, because of all the trees. I mean, it was even a problem. All the flooding washed out all the yellow jackets nest and the snake nest, and people were trying to walk to these places and getting stung by yellow jackets and snake bit because they couldn't even get to people.
What?
Yep.
Oh my God.
Yep.
That is crazy.
So we were able to just set up in different places. One place we set up for 5 hours and delivered maybe a ton of food in 5 hours to 11 or 12 different homes in a whole mountainside above us.
So I'll just put it out there because I was getting some heat on social platforms why don't you go to North Carolina and help? And because I got the thermal, I got everything you need.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
Well,
but
and to that point, we called you guys as I was souping up my T40. I called you guys, and you called me back within 6 hours and let us know what we needed to do to make it work. So you helped.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I was calling around trying to get things figured out, but because of the YouTube content, because of how many people watch me do my stuff, the FAA has been watching us really closely. And I wanted to go there, but it's how are we going to help once we get there? And I'm going to show what we're doing. Me helping somebody, is that going to make the FAA call and be like, why were you doing this? So that's partially some of the reason that we didn't go, but I also wanted to know, who's in charge?
Yeah, that was the problem.
No.
I mean, you could have come down and helped, but they didn't know how to utilize us. And Russell made probably 150 phone calls to ever even get into where the situation we were at, to get in touch with each county's EOCs to be able to do any good. And we get there, and they just send us around. The first mission we done was with a fly cart, and nobody talks about, or we had to get this thing hooked up to a relay, and everybody says that a fly cart can't get hooked up to a relay, but we got it hooked up to the relay I use on my T40 one time.
But then it didn't work again.
It didn't work again after we updated it. But we tried flying the fly cart 2.5 miles away over top of a mountain, hooked to a relay, to get to a community that apparently had never been got to. We ended up losing connection, had to come back and like redo the whole mission. Time we drove around the next half of the day, we find out that they had actually, these guys in this not village but community, had pulled together a bunch of fallen trees to make a bridge out to get to Tennessee. So
Wow.
they were already out when I was able to travel in and out of this bridge that they made with fallen trees.
Wow.
That's
So
crazy.
that's how bad communication was. Like we were
Was one of the big things, like with us going down too. Is like, who do we talk to? There's just, who's in charge?
Like
who's
the
going
thing
to tell
is,
us what to do?
I could have brought so many thermal drones there, but I need to know who's in charge.
Yep.
And then I'll show you how we could do this, and we could have searched. You don't even know
and it
how
was,
much we could have done.
It was like an absolute war zone, dude. The amount of helicopters and planes, it was dangerous.
Yeah.
I mean, it was absolutely. You've seen the deal in California where that one drone.
Yep.
I think it was a couple months ago.
Yep.
That one drone hit a plane. It's crazy. We got held up. We knew where there were people at, and Joe Biden was coming in to fly over and look at the place like he couldn't look at pictures. But like we were,
Could he even see it? Is the real question.
yeah.
While he was asleep, going over.
We were grounded that morning. We had missions that we could have done, but we were grounded. But what would have, like, there's possibly people could have died during that time. But what would have happened if we would have hit somebody? If we would have hit a plane or something?
Yeah.
They would have buried us under the jail. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's just
Might have been worth it.
I don't know.
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but it was wild times, man. It was a lot of crazy.
So not just agricultural spreading or spraying.
Yeah.
We're starting to use these things for a lot more.
Yeah, and I did use my T40 for one flight. He actually during this time was trying to figure out like what all we needed to do, and my cousin was in a city and found shopping carts on the side of the road, and we come back and hacked up these shopping carts to make baskets with, to be able to haul stuff in with our T40 inside these baskets.
That's cool.
Wow, that is cool.
So we like hacked them up
That's cool.
to make them lighter, but we made 3 passes with our T40 with fuel, water, and food to an elderly couple that their bridge had washed out. So we literally just flew up over a river and set it down on the other side of trees.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
so
cool.
we had one of our guys on our crew over there on the other side to be able to get the stuff out of the basket underneath the drone and all that stuff. Yeah.
So cool.
Yeah.
Who would have ever thought?
Dude, this is what blows my mind. We're talking September of 23. I'd never even flown a drone before. Didn't know nothing about these ag drones. Didn't know nothing about it. Luckily, I got a pretty good one. But here I am talking to you guys like a year later after finally getting legal to do this stuff, and here I am on a podcast, sprayed over 5,000 acres of crops, supporting my family with a business that's great. You know what I'm saying? This is a dream come true for me to come back to the farm and make a living.
Yeah.
That is amazing.
Like, because you don't have to be close to the city or close to a town. Like, you can do this wherever, as long as there's like farms or pasture land or
Anything.
crops. Like,
Anything. And just if you want to do rugged areas, get up and move. Move somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, there's plenty of work to do in these mountains. There's plenty of stuff to do. I mean, you ain't gotta. We was talking to somebody here. He's in Boston and won't know what he could do in Boston. I'm like, it's nothing to get up and move, or you can find something to do in Boston.
Yeah.
It's a great.
So, what
business.
would you tell somebody that wants to get into it now?
Hustle.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a hustle, and I'm sure everybody here's seen your stuff on YouTube, and they realize that. But it's a hard job. It's a fun job. It's a profitable job. There's a lot of risk involved too. I mean, you just got to be careful and know what you're doing, and and do a good job.
When you're up there and everything's going good, and you're just monitoring your screens, you look over at your buddy Jay or whoever is your buddy, and you're like, we get paid to do this.
Yeah, dude. At the end,
like, wait, am I actually getting paid to do this?
You're at the end of the day, and you finally sit down and eat a nice meal like a Mexican restaurant, and you just made like $4,000. You know, like that ACP never tasted any better. You know what I'm saying? That's the best Texas ACP ever. Do y'all have Texas ACPs?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Nope.
It's just chicken and rice and the white cheese.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep, we have that.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We do.
The Texas version is just steak, shrimp, and chicken. So, it's great.
I definitely get that every time.
Yeah.
I just chicken and rice with cheese sauce.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even know that. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on the podcast and sharing your experiences. And hopefully anybody that's listening right now, if you guys want to get into it, now's the time.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. Alrighty. That's all we got.
Appreciate
Until
you,
the next time.
Yep.
Just chicken and rice with cheese sauce.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Oh, that's funny. I didn't even know that. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks so much for coming on the podcast and sharing your experiences. And hopefully anybody that's listening right now, if you guys want to get into it, now's the time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah. Alrighty. That's all we got.
Appreciate
Until
you,
the next time.
Yep.